I was at Planet Fitness today, and I broke my ribs. Not at Planet Fitness. Technically, this was about 2.5 weeks ago. I fell, and then it broke my ribs. I'm not a very strong human being. I'm not, there's not a lot of endurance within my bones, I guess would be how people talk. They usually say that. People are always talking about their bone endurance, but not a lot of endurance in my bones. Yeah, I was playing flag football. I fell making a catch. Successfully made the catch, by the way. And I've been in pain ever since. And every now and then I'll do something that makes it worse. Like the other day when I played football again, and I made it worse. And so it makes it hard to breathe. It makes it hard to... I haven't been able to sneeze in a while. The other day was the first time I'd been able to sneeze in a couple of weeks, and it was a pretty freeing feeling. You don't appreciate a human sneeze until you aren't able to sneeze for a couple of weeks. My body, there were times when I felt like I'd have to sneeze, and I would get to the point of climax, but I would stop. It would stop immediately. Like the sneeze would just go away, and it was like my body knew that it wasn't going to be able to handle the pain, and so it just stopped me from sneezing. Which goes to show that you don't need to sneeze. Sneezing is not a necessary thing. The body made it up as a way to humiliate you. Your body knows how ridiculous you look while sneezing. It even knows how ridiculous you sound while sneezing. We all sound ridiculous. Some of us, it's like a cute ridiculous. It's like a achoo, achoo, pew. It's like a cute little thing. For others, like my mother, just and my boss and so many people. Others, it's like a violent, a brrr, but not high pitch. A brrr. It's like that. And then some people, those of us who are kind of more in between, you just have a boring sneeze, and that's pretty embarrassing. That's pretty embarrassing to not have a recognizable, to not have a sneeze that is distinct, to not have a sneeze that is kind of true to yourself, to just have a sneeze that sounds like all the other sneezes out there. I mean, that's even more embarrassing. And this is a topic for another day, but we're all ridiculous sneezers. We all look ridiculous, and our body knows that. And that was a lesson I learned from my broken ribs. I never went to the doctor, but some people told me it was probably broken ribs. My dad said it was probably a cartilage issue. Whatever. So I was at Planet Fitness 2.5 minutes into the video, and I can officially start the story. I was on the treadmill. I've not been able to work out my upper body in the last 2.5 weeks, and it has led to I don't work out that much. I work out a couple times a week, and I will, I go to the gym usually 2 or 3 times a week, and I will hit each muscle group once. I will go to the chest machine, and I'll do it 2 or 3 times. Not 2 or 3 reps, but I'll do 2 or 3 reps to failure. I'm in and out of the gym in 30 minutes, and I go there 3 times a week. I just do it to take care of myself. I'm not trying to get buff. But me not working out has led to just a little bit of I can see my muscles going away a little bit, and it's not like I had that much to begin with. But so I'm excited to get to lift again. That's going to help my self-esteem a lot. So I was on the treadmill because I can't work out my upper body. Now 3.5 minutes into the video, and I'm finally getting to the story. And so I'm on the treadmill and I'm running. And this Planet Fitness, by the way, has 80 treadmills. And it was after work, and so there's a lot of people who are at Planet Fitness around 6 o'clock because, like I said, everyone's off of the 9 to 5 grind. And this lady, I never, unless I am forced to, which I've never once, even on the busiest day at this Planet Fitness, I've never once been forced to step on a treadmill that is directly next to somebody. I am always able to leave a space. I'm always able to leave a treadmill between me and another fellow runner. But this lady, despite there being plenty of other treadmills across the Planet Fitness, she takes the one right to my left. And I ignore it. I think it's kind of weird because it's just unnecessary. But not everybody thinks like I do. Some people just go to a treadmill. They don't care. And so I just thought this was odd, but I go back to running, and it makes me self-conscious because I don't run for very long. I'll run for 0.4 miles, and then I'll be done. And then I'll go back to walking, and I'll walk for 5 minutes, and then I'll run for another 3 minutes. I do it at a 6 or 7 incline, right? But it makes it slightly more embarrassing when the person next to me can tell that I'm stopping and starting a lot. This person to my left is irrelevant, unimportant to this story. So really now we're close to 5 minutes in on this video, and I haven't really gotten to the story. And that is that to my right, this guy fills in to my right, not directly to my right. He actually leaves a treadmill in between, and I'm like, look, he could have left 2 or 3 treadmills in between us. It's like urinals for men. It's the same exact thing, but with treadmills, because if you don't need to be right next to me and you're a stranger, then just don't be right next to me. I'm not like mad or upset at anybody. Like, if you're going to be right next to me, it doesn't bother me, but it's just not how I would have done it. I would have kept some space. And so he keeps some space, and I'm like, okay, cool. But that is because his wife was going to run right next to him. And so then his wife is to my right. So now I am surrounded. There is someone to my left and someone to my right. When there are probably, it was busier. I'll give them that. But there are 20 other treadmills available kind of all throughout. And so they could have gone somewhere else. But they chose not to, and that's okay. Except for the fact that the lady next to me was playing... At first, I thought she was playing a video. My AirPods had died. Oh, how did I forget to mention that? My AirPods are dead. And so I'm running/walking while I'm watching the TVs talk about the government shutdown, and ESPN is talking about football. And there's also HGTV. And so I'm taking in politics, sports, and home all at the same time. And home. And so I'm taking all that in, and I can hear that she is just playing something off of her phone at full volume, which is not very respectful, but whatever. I'm not upset. At no point during the story do I get upset at anybody. So she is playing this thing full volume, but then I realize it's not a video, it's a song. She's playing a song full volume, and then she starts to sing along as she's walking. By the way, woman has a wonderful voice. Very nice woman. I assume I actually didn't talk to her. She could have been mean. Very pretty voice. But she's now singing this song as she is walking, and I am at the end of my run. I was at like 1.8 miles, and I was like, okay, we're at this like 6 incline. We're gonna like kick up the I do this thing, by the way. I noticed this earlier today when I was interviewing somebody. I do this thing where I have a thought that I'm going to say in my brain, and then I just sometimes like the words I say are just wrong. Like I have a thing that I want to say in my head. I'm trying to think of what it was. It was something about like, oh, you can, hope you can keep up with them is what I was trying to say. But instead I said something like hope you can keep on with them. It was just something like little that made what I said make no sense. But if you use context clues, you kind of understand what I'm trying to say. That happens to me all the time, and it makes me feel like I suck as a communicator. That I sometimes will say things that I don't mean to say. That sometimes like the wrong thing comes out of my mouth, and not, So anyway, when I accidentally said the word cuck there, that's kind of what came to mind, because I didn't mean to say that word. So I'm at Planet Fitness, and this lady to my right is singing somewhat loudly as she is playing this song from her phone. And then her husband is running. They're kind of going back and forth. And the husband then almost falls off the treadmill. I think he is running, and when you're on a treadmill, if your foot slips off the pad thing and you just kind of like touch the part of the treadmill that isn't moving, you kind of start to stumble. And so he does that, and he kind of catches himself. Right there, I just said he does that. And so he did that. And he almost tripped, and then he like dropped his phone on the ground, and it kind of caused a scene where like his wife like freaked out, and I kind of freaked out too, just because it was like a bit of a loud, weird noise, and I saw like rapid movement. This is a topic I'm gonna get off. I was gonna start talking about REM cycles and rapid eye movement, but I don't need to talk about that. And then he catches himself. He grabs his phone, and he's fine. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. That was it. That was the whole story. I got surrounded at Planet Fitness, and then this dude kind of almost fell off the treadmill.